A good leader is a man or woman who has what it takes to recognize the opportunities to improve the human condition. But a great leader is a man or woman who knows what it takes and the right moment to improve the human condition. Governor Willie Abrochukwu Obiano proved that he is a great leader when he took advantage of the euphoria generated by the 5 Anambra schoolgirls who won the gold medal at the World Technovation Challenge in San Francisco, USA, to lay a solid foundation for Anambra's innovation dream. The Anambra Golden Girls had swept aside technological superpowers like the US, China, Spain, Uzbekistan, and Turkey to clinch gold at the global event. It is instructive to remember that just before the girls left for the contest in the US, Governor Obiano had boosted their morale by inviting them as special guests to a special session of the Anambra State Executive Council meeting. He charged them to compete without fear and bring honor and glory to Anambra State and to Nigeria. The Golden Girls did the country proud and became the new quintessence of innovation and creative excellence, a sure proof that Nigeria can solve her technovation needs if there is enough willpower.
So one thing we have done is, one, we have changed the psyche of our children so that they know that they can use their heads. As I speak to you now, all the students in the technical colleges from NTC 1 to NTC 3 do not pay tuition. It's free for them. The aim is that you want to encourage people to go into technical and vocational education. His Excellency has promised Umuakwụkwọ Anambra that he was going to give them education that is globally competitive. So that's not beginning to yield fruit. Conducive environment.
Riding on the back of the outstanding performance of the Golden Girls, Governor Willie Obiano quickly began to look for ways to lend deeper roots to the promise the girls had shown to the world. His search took him to the city of Boston in Massachusetts, USA. Boston is a wise choice for the search for solutions. The city is renowned as an international center for higher education and a global leader for innovation and entrepreneurship. Boston hosts over 2,000 startups. And so, Governor Obiano arrived in Boston in search of solutions, but he also arrived to the rousing welcome of the Nigerian community in Boston who left their day jobs to receive him at the airport. The Executive Council members of the Nigeria American Multi-Service Association, NAMSA, were fully on hand to receive him. It was a warm, brief ceremony that reassured Governor Obiano that his visit to Boston would be a fruitful one. The governor began his tour of Boston with a scheduled visit to the African Studies Library of the prestigious Boston University in Cambridge. Boston University is a highly rated university that shares the same rarefied geographical space as the famous Harvard University and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. Governor Obiano's interest in the African Studies Library of Boston University was inspired by the decision of the library management to digitize all the archival materials it has on Anambra State and the entire southeast Nigeria into retrievable formats. The digitization idea is intended to make it easier for researchers who are interested in Anambra State and the south of Nigeria to access these archival materials with a mere click of the mouse.
Right now they're exploring partnerships with University of Addis Ababa, I believe also in Senegal, but Nigeria would be another very strong possibility just because of just our traditional focus on Nigeria, but also there's such a large population of Nigerians in the area. We have so many enrolled here at BU, so I think the university has a very personal interest. This summer, with Godwin's help, we inventoried our holdings for Anambra State, and unfortunately I don't have much on the table for Anambra State, partly because it's in Chicago right now to be microfilmed.
Governor Obiano also seized the moment to ask for possible collaborations between the Institute and Odumegwu Ojukwu University in Ibadan.
One of the reasons why I chose to come here is to see how first we can partner with a university in Anambra State two things will happen when you do that.
Yeah.
One is that you're going to get more materials real time, you know, to update what you're doing. Secondly is that you will impact some knowledge to the faculty there, you know, and for the students that will be studying African studies, you know, they will be in a position to also learn fast.
But we certainly are very interested in partnerships, particularly because the university is very interested in being a global university. So to the extent that we can talk to the African Studies Center and start looking at ways to connect with your country, that's certainly consistent with what the university is looking to do in terms of spreading our partnership levels, not just within the United States, but around the world.
The library is a rich trove of archival materials on Anambra State and the Southeast that impressed the governor and his team. Nevertheless, Governor Obiano had enough presence of mind to ask whether the library had no material on the Civil War.
A quick glance at the books here, I was deliberately looking for a copy. You probably have them, but they're not here. Things on the Nigerian Civil War.
On the
Nigerian Civil War.
Yep.
You know, do you have them?
So materials on Biafra.
Right.
Yes, we do. We do.
You do.
Yeah, and if we had time, we could pull them out.
Most of our young ones don't read history any longer. It's not because of their fault, but if you will, because of a deliberate policy by the government. That I'm changing. I want my people to learn about us, learn about a great tragedy in our lives, that was the Civil War, you know, and understand why that war was fought, with a view to ensuring that such a thing does not repeat itself. Because if you don't know how something started, you can make the same mistakes all over and go all over. So that's the importance of getting some of these things properly digitized, you know, so that our people learn it. And if I can achieve it or start the process during my tenure as governor, then that will go a long way in helping first the state and Nigeria as a whole.
After a successful tour of the library, Obiano and his team took a long walk on the university grounds, past the Martin Luther King Jr. Monument to a brief reception organized in his honor. There, once again, it was time for more interactions and exchanges between the governor and different dignitaries and members of the Nigerian community who came to interface with him. Governor Obiano's next port of call was at the Cambridge Innovation Center, CIC, in Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. This center is reputed to be the leading startup hub in the US. It is reported to have more startups than anywhere else in the world.
Because of the bust in electronic sciences, a lot of young people outside of the things that are taught them in classroom have been immersing themselves in the power of the electronic world. So the governor thought that a visit to the Innovation Center can lead to some partnership that will transport possibilities here for gifted children, gifted young Nigerians, young Igbo people, specifically young Anambra people, who can potentially create solution applications that may impact the world.
Indeed, CIC is the meeting point between tech geeks with paradigm-shifting ideas and venture capitalists who have the financial muscle to fund their initiatives. CIC offers access to hundreds of entrepreneurs, service providers, inventors, and mentors under one roof, serving as the meeting point between innovation and finance. When Governor Obiano made an effort to know whether the center would be willing to work in partnership that will ensure the establishment of a similar initiative in Anambra, Mr. Fratus offered her assurances.
But we really value what you were mentioning. You know, we specifically choose to locate ourselves in cities with universities, global universities, because we want to pull that talent away from big companies like Google and give them to really incredible small startups with amazing ideas.
Governor Obiano's mission to the center was to carry out a first-hand assessment of the place, discuss possibilities of partnership, and adopting their model to jumpstart his dream of turning Anambra State into a leading technological hub in the West African region, a move which he started by inaugurating the Anambra State Creative Economic Council shortly after he took the oath for his second term in office.
I am very confident that with your vast experience individually, collectively, you make a difference. We want the Anambra youth to be fully engaged in various things, you know, and it's not only in interventions in tourism and hospitality, entertainment and film industry, news, media and technology, etc. You know, it's also to suggest things we need to do with some of our youths that chose not to go to school, or some of our youths that are, if you will, traders. You know, so these are all within your bracket to be able to address.
Governor Obiano believes that Anambra youths have enough creative flair and brain power to contribute to the ongoing global high-tech race, but lack the environment that will inspire them to bring out their best. While on tour of the center, the governor interacted with young, bright tech heads at the Innovative Cafe and discussed the possibilities of their visiting Anambra State to interact with the youth and offer new high-tech solutions to the developmental needs of the state. One of the bright tech heads the governor met with at the center is Nigeria's Ezinne Uzo Okoro, who had spent 14 years at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, and 22-year-old Indo-Swiss Jiashu Vanier, founder and president of Visual Reality Company, among many others.
If you bring the expertise and then domicile it with young people who are going to now domesticate the expertise and join it with what they learn in class and what they didn't teach them in class because they pick from the street, you are giving opportunity for entrepreneurial young people that will play in the emerging new industry.
Indeed, Anambra is a gifted state. The full range of the state's offerings was recently on display at the Anambra Creativity Festival in Awka.
We want to be able to make these students to use their hands properly. We want the equipment to be used. We want teachers to use them and teach the students. We want beyond that to be able to produce commodities that we can sell. Therefore, you see our students producing nuts, for vehicles. We see them in catering crafts, doing cakes, doing chin-chin. In material engineering, you see them producing perfumes, liquid soaps, and all this like that. Welding and fabrication, you see them producing hangers. You see them producing iron beds, iron chairs. You see them making paints, because we have painting and decorating. If you go to GTC Umuchu, you are very good in block molding and brick laying. If you go to Umueri, they are very good in plumbing and pipe fitting.
These are two of my inventions that participated in Anambra Talent Show. Like I said earlier, the first one we are seeing is what I call the waste to wealth machine. So the machine actually transformed our trashes, something like a plastic, waterproof nylon, those wastes that are related to hydrocarbon that does not biodegrade. This machine you are seeing here can transform them into petrol, kerosene, diesel, your paraffin, so many even cooking gas. You can get them from these trashes you are seeing here, and even interlock. These are getting from a byproduct, by waste from this machine, stronger than your normal concrete. You can imagine that tomorrow with this machine, you can start making our nylon tarred roofs just with this waste. You can start building houses with this waste. It's very, very strong and durable. This is another work of mine. I call this portable hydroelectric generator. This one uses water instead of your petrol you have on your.
The government of Anambra State, through His Excellency Chief Obiano, has invested massively. All the equipment that is required to become the best, innovators are already available. Having done that, we discovered that it will be very important, in the Ministry of Youth Empowerment and Creative Economy to actually use 3Ds, discover, develop, and deploy Anambra Youth in two groups. Basically the technical and entertainment group.
After his visit to Cambridge Innovation Center, Governor Obiano headed to yet another important startup hub in Boston, known as the Quincy Center of Innovation. There, once again, he interacted with entrepreneurs who were silently chasing the American dream with approaches meant for the 21st century. The concluding sequence of Governor Obiano's Boston tour took him to the office of IV&C. The company is a world-renowned solutions provider in security and surveillance. IV&C is the firm that developed the high-tech security gadget that was deployed by the American authorities to track down the mastermind of the infamous Boston Marathon bombing that took place in 2013. Obiano's purpose was to get high-tech ideas and innovations that will ensure that Anambra retains its rating as Nigeria's safest state.
I'm trying to see how I can use their solution here back home. We've done well in security in Anambra State, but I'm raising the ante by deploying cameras now with a view to monitoring what's happening around the whole state with ease from control centers and of course from iPad and solutions. That will make our police and law enforcement agents much more responsive and of course help us to arrest and deal with crime in our environment.
Governor Obiano's Boston tour came to a glorious end with a wonderful evening of praises and tributes as the Nigerian community in the city gathered to honor him with the award of Nigeria's Champion of Democracy. The ceremony attracted the leaders of the key segments of the Nigerian diaspora in Boston who came together under an umbrella association known as the Nigerian American Multi-Service Association, NAMSA. Speaking at the ceremony, the president of the association, Mr. Godwin Nnanna, explained why they chose Obiano for the honor.
We believe that such things don't happen by accident. It happens because of the deliberate act of policy and policymakers. And so we believe that you have done something that is deserving of our commendation and our appreciation as a champion of democracy. And so that's why we reached out to you. I started the process of inviting you to Boston so that we can formally say this, that we appreciate the work you're doing in Anambra State. I checked on the Millennium Development Goals of the United Nations, and Anambra, more than any state in Nigeria, is one of those that are meeting that goals.
Other prominent leaders of the association like Professor Ajibola Osinubi, Dr. Joyce Nwosu, Ms. Nkoli Onye, and Professor N.T. Izuchi also praised Governor Obiano's sterling accomplishments in office and urged him not to drop the baton in his second term. In response, Governor Obiano gave them his assurances.
We have a program at Obiano to bring your wealth home. Where things have moved. You can see, you enjoy this city, you can see this beautiful place. But somebody built it.
Yes.
It didn't fall from heaven. And if you stay here and you don't know what's happening your own will stay the way it is. If some other person doesn't do it, is that not correct? That's true. So you must on your own come down, find out what is happening and how much you can help. Don't stay here and criticize what's happening in Nigeria. Be part of it. If you criticize what's happening in Nigeria, you're criticizing yourselves. Exactly. Are you hearing me? So you must be part of the solution. Some of you are wealthy, some of you are wealth, both in money, gray matter, in many other ways. You are contacts, that's wealth. Wealth is not just money in the bank. If you define wealth here, the definition will start straight from there and get to that wall. So you have all that you can do to help us. Even the good advice you give to some of your people is part of your wealth because you have experience. So please do that and let's help our country develop.
We invited the governor to come and share with us his experiences of the Fulani herdsmen and all kinds of activities, because that has been a major issue of concern to all Nigerians in this area, and especially those people from the Middle Belt and southern states. So he's here to share light on this, and also Governor Willie Obiano being a high-performing governor. That's why we extended this invitation to him.
Indeed, Governor Obiano's tour of Boston is yet another impressive chapter in the narrative of a leader who is constantly searching for solutions to the numerous developmental challenges of his people. But it is also a timely advice to political leaders of most developing societies that sometimes the search for foreign investment may not be half as useful as the search for innovation, ideas and solutions to our developmental challenges. In fact, in most cases, it may be all that we ever need from the West.